getting ready for my podcast interview with Kristin. Let me tell you, she's down to 80 pounds. 80 pounds! I don't know if you know what that means, but she's going to share all of her secrets and what she did, the mindset shifts that she made, a bunch of good shit. I'm going to go live, of course on record, but I'm going to try to get it through my athlete page on Facebook. Head on over. Let's go. Y'all, what is up? Casey Schiff here, coming at you out of my son's gaming room. Pretty spotty because I'm not my normal studio, but we're making it work. I'm here today with Kristin. This is Kristin. I'm interviewing Kristin because she's down to 80 pounds and she's more, and like, just like those of you that are watching, like, we're all more than our results. You know, it's not like we only get appreciated and cheered on because of the accolades that we do and stuff like that. However, I know a lot of you watching my shit and my page or my stuff. I don't think I'm trying to not cuss on this one because we may as well use the post. Anyway, I know a lot of you watch our posts. And I know that when I was struggling back in the day, and I'm sure Kristin can relate, like when you're in the struggle, you just want to know that it's possible. And I know the type of demons that she's had to sit with to get to the other side. So anyway, Kristin, thank you for being here and like taking the time out of your day to share your success. And you're actually helping a lot of women. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm happy to help. And I'm happy that you wanted to have me on your show.
I love it. Yes, like all day long. So we'll get straight into it.
Okay.
Tell us, what do you do for work?
I am currently a health, safety, and environmental technician in the oil and gas industry in West Texas.
So if some stuff goes down, like, are you behind the control panel kind of thing with the gas and all the chemicals?
No, I mostly am looking out for like employee health and safety.
Right.
And I'm kind of dabbling into some environmental stuff because that's kind of the thing now. And nobody really wants to do it. And I kind of have expressed some interest. So,
okay.
So I figured I'd just go all in.
I love it. And how long have you been at that job? Desk job?
It is a desk job. Honestly, like I just came into health and safety about a month ago. Until then, I had been in accounting and I had been chained to a desk for like the last 3 or 4 years. And it was so funny because I'd really just started to hate it. Cause I'm like, gosh, I want to get out. Like I'm sick of sitting at this desk and I feel like I need to talk to some people. And this job just it's in the same company that I've been with, but it kind of fell into my lap. And it's a job that's much more interactive. I get to go out in the field and I get to interact with the guys. And I really am much happier in this environment and people that match my energy much better, to say the least.
Isn't it interesting? Because women, when they come to work with us, they come in here like everybody else with a weight loss, and then with a weight loss goal, and then they get here. Yes, their hormones get fixed and all the stuff, but they get paid promotions. They change, they get their dream home and everything. It sounds like that's kind of what's happened to you. You were like in the desk job in the accounting role, and then now 80 pounds, freer, and you're like, hey,
Yes, that's exactly it. And I was telling my husband the same thing. I'm like, it's like I manifested this whole thing. I stayed in this energy and I attracted the people that I work with now who are in the same energy and the same frame of mind that I am. And now I'm much happier. I'm in a much better frame to learn new things and go experience new things. And I feel like I would have been afraid to come into a position like this a year ago. So I feel really fortunate and really excited to be in this role right now.
So cool. Let me check my recording and make sure our video is recording, and then we're going to get into it. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Sure.
So, and that's it, ladies. Like, it's more than weight. Even if it's 10 pounds that you're trying to lose and you're not confident. Like, I just did a photo shoot and I'm like looking, and my midsection, I'm like, listen, it's okay, but yeah, we will get that snatched just a little bit more. Like, and I'm a fitness chick, so it's like when you feel fully confident, the world, opportunities just open up for you. Like the world changes because you change. And so, yeah, it's all about just feeling good in your body. So let's get rolling. It's Kristin.
I'm sorry. I have one daughter.
One daughter. Okay, cool. Because a lot of women out there, they think that they kind of write you off sometimes if you're a mom and you don't have kids, you don't understand. So
you don't understand. You don't have kids.
How old is she?
I do. She's 8.
Oh my gosh, I got an 8-year-old boy. Okay, cool. So
they're fun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're going to need that energy. Okay.
Gosh, yes, girl.
Yeah. All right, so let's get rolling. My questions are right here.
Sure.
So let's do. Here we go. Let me scroll down. Okay. Let's see. What do you remember? What did you initially reach out for? Was it like the hormones, the trauma-informed approach, like cardio, no cardio? Like, do you remember why you reached out to us?
I do remember why. It was, a lot of it was the hormones, the no cardio, and it was the weight loss.
Okay.
And that's primarily why I got into it. But then when I got into it, I was surprised how much it actually was.
We used to try to like sell women on the whole thing, and we were losing. Like our sales would dip, and it would just suck. What's going on? Why aren't these women wanting to pretty much change their whole life and manifest everything they want and have it all and get hot? They're like, want that? They just want to lose weight. I'm like, fine. So then when I changed it up to be like, all right, do you want to lose weight? Do you want to look hot? As you know what, and get confident. Come on over here. We don't do cardio, and then it's like we blow up. And then you get in and realize like, wow, it's so much more. So I love that you said that.
Yes, it was a lot. It was way more than I expected.
Tell me more about that.
I'd never really dabbled much, in energy type work, and I hadn't really. You don't hear a whole lot about it, and so when I started, when I got out of drop the MF weight. Yes, thank you. I was like, gosh, I know what it is, but I can't remember the exact title. And I got into the pre-launch. I was like, okay, so this is a lot more emotional and a lot more energetic work. And so it's really given me the opportunity to learn a lot about my own energy. And that's part of how I was able to change so much about my food at home, because my husband really, got interested in clean eating. And my natural personality is I'm a natural leader. Like, I'm a little bossy, and I usually like set the tone, and so when my husband expressed interest in this and started bringing things to me, I was like, I need to really fall into my feminine energy here, follow him and see what he's doing. And so we started this together, and he's lost 65 pounds and reversed his type 2 diabetes, gotten off every medication that he was on. And we've been on this journey now for a year together. So,
and I'm loving it.
Yeah, me too. And I think that, if I hadn't learned anything about, the energy work and how I needed to kind of step out of that and, really lean into my feminine energy, I don't think that I would have had the success that I had.
Now,
and
you just opened a big old can of worms. We got like 3 avenues to go down here. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. So first she said she's bossy. Now, and I said no, because I typically attract like energy attracts like energy. So while we're just the type of, I say career driven or just goal oriented, we just get things done. Like I mean that I typically attract. We just go for it. We're not going to sit back, and we're just kind of very independent. Like I joke when we sign people up, like actually this is if we offer them a spot in the mastermind or send them to like something lower. We'll say, do you need like hubby's permission or approval? Or do you need your partner's or daddy's permission or approval or support? And it's only triggered like a couple women that actually need to get empowered. But everybody else like, no, I do what I want. I'm like, let's go. So I love that you said that, because that way, nothing to it. It's just, if you need permission, I run everything by him. I'm not saying that. Like everything I've purchased, Skip knows I'm doing it. I don't ask him. I don't see what he's going to say to do it. Like my daddy, like I'm a grown woman. I make my own money. So I love the fact that you're the same way.
Yes.
It's like if you're codependent and you're not empowered like that, like my mom wasn't, everything was mine, because it's really a control thing for me, the partner.
Yes.
So I like that you said that. There's nothing wrong with that. Number 2, feminine. I want everybody to know here, because for women to be like Kristin, very strong-willed, get what she wants, quote, bossy, that's masculine energy-ish, but also it's a powerful feminine. It's just that it's been stuffed down and we've been shamed for it and called bees for it. And ultimately, it sounds like you were in the feminine, choosing yourself, embodying your goddess, falling in love with your temple, getting sexy and feeling healthy and being feminine. And he followed, because I tell all the women, I'm like, stop waiting for your hubby to say yes or whatever. You're the females lead. If you'll just lead, they're there to support us, So it sounds like led him, influenced him, and it allowed him to get healthy.
Yes, because I'd been, so in 2019, I lost 70 pounds. And I had, I did it all on my own. Like he, was not on board.
Boom.
And I just did it. I was like, I'm going to do this. This is it. I'm going to do it. And then, lo and behold, I gained all but 8 pounds of it back. And, so I'd kind of been, pushing. And, then he decided that he wanted to do it. And so I just kind of, I planted the seed. You're right. So you're right.
You decided, and now we're going to get into, I know all of you listening, it's like, well, what did she get into? Like, what do you mean drop the weight? So what do you mean feminine? Because you nailed it. And how did you lose the weight when you did it yourself?
When I did it myself, I meal prepped every Sunday, and he and my daughter ate something completely different from me every night.
Wow.
So, and, he would bring ice cream and cookies and all sorts of junk into the house. And I just had resigned to the fact, like, you know what, this isn't food. This isn't good for me. I'm not going to eat it. And, I just didn't do it.
And this was after you got in the program, or?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. This was in 2019 when I first did it myself. And then it was about this time last year, where he really got on board and got interested.
Right. Okay. So you found us, you remember you came in last year, 2022?
It was, yes, ma'am. It was about this time last year.
Right. So you gained back the 70 pounds-ish.
Mm-hmm. Just about all of it.
Was that 2020, or you put it on and it was all back by when you found me?
It was just about all back by the time I found you. In 2020 was when I started, after the whole COVID thing, it was kind of when I started putting it back on. And, it was kind of, I was kind of fooling myself. I thought I was trying my best, and, but it just kept slowly coming back. And I kept exercising, and, I would get on the bike, and, I would do a spin class and spin 20 miles. And here I am still not at my, weight that I want to be. And it just, I didn't, until, I started, with your program, working on the emotional stuff, I didn't really understand why I couldn't keep it off.
Now, would you say when you came in after, when you gained it back, would you say it puts you in a state of frustration, or more like sad and grief?
I would say my first feelings were frustration. I was really frustrated because I felt like I was trying really hard, and I was just pushing and pushing and pushing, getting no results. And then I was really disappointed in myself. So I was like, man, like, I worked so hard, like, and now, like, here I'm right back here again. And, then I would feel sad because I'm like, here I am. And, like, I feel terrible about myself. I hate how I look. Like, I hate how I feel. And, like, I can't believe I've let myself do this.
It's actually, like, once you get in the program, you realize it's an addictive pattern to shame and guilt.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So, and don't let me forget to ask you about, we're going to talk about the energetic emotion, because a lot of women, not a lot, I would say 30% are like, oh, I've already done that. I've already done all the mindset stuff. Already done it. If you had done it, you
wouldn't be here.
Exactly. You wouldn't be watching my stuff.
Right.
Okay. Main challenges that you faced before joining, would you say that it was just the frustration of gaining, putting it back on? Were there anything else, like gut issues, stubborn fat, low appetite, binge eating, no sleep, low libido, hair falling out, anything like that?
Yes. Really all the above. I did all the comprehensive blood work through the holistic doctors. And of course, my thyroid was off, which, I kind of suspected for years. And my adrenals were off. And I had pretty high insulin levels, really just indicating that I was insulin resistant. So, it was kind of refreshing to hear those things and finally talk to somebody who acknowledged that and was able to address it.
So when you came in, you had all those low libido, hair falling out, gut issues, stubborn fat, sleep.
Right. I had a lot of stubborn fat. Mostly, it was really everywhere. I've lost, I think, 10 inches in my midsection.
It's crazy. And I remember, I can't remember, definitely metabolic syndrome. And I want to say that's what was wrong with me as well, because we have diabetes in my family. And I remember in the mornings, like if my blood sugar was real wonky, is that or no?
Yes, it affects your blood sugar a whole lot, or it doesn't make it affects your blood sugar, but it's more of like your body can't process the insulin, so it stores it instead.
I can't remember. I don't want to say, I had that. It was something where my blood sugar was wacky, and it was all during that time. So you don't need to be overweight to experience blood sugar issues. And
right.
The emotional core of that, Kristin, is you're unable to enjoy life. And was our story, it sounds like. So, wow. What is it that made you choose ours specifically? Like, what's it about?
I mean, like you said, you kind of draw in, similar energies to yourself. I don't really know how, but, you showed up on I think it was my Instagram feed, and you said a lot of things that resonated with me and made a lot of sense. And it was just the no nonsense, like no BS approach to everything. And, you need to look inside, you need to look inside yourself. And, a lot of doctors are going to tell you a lot of BS. And, I was like, oh, yeah, I think you're right.
You're normal. Or then this past week I had a girl, and I hate it. I feel so bad for them, but they got to figure it out, because I've had them tell me the same thing. Doctors will say, oh, you just need to lose weight. I'm like, oh my God, am I supposed to make
you tell them stay?
Yeah.
I remember going to my OB, and I was like, gosh, I'm really struggling to lose weight. Like, I'm doing this, can't lose weight. He's like, oh, you want a diet pill?
And you know what, though? I think
you
should lie to. We've grown up and we think that doctors, coats can heal us.
They don't. They prescribe pills.
Pretty much all white coats, like the ones we work with, preventative and holistic. But
yes,
you have to do a holistic approach, which is looking at everything: the lifestyle, the mind, soul, the nervous system. It's not just one thing. So I found my blood work, and I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for telling me why I'm feeling this way. Because this other doctor was like, hey, my TSH was like 4 or something. I was like, what?
Yeah, it all made so much sense.
Yeah. So really, you said what I would say would resonate. So that could be a sign for those of you out there, if you feel like, wow, that resonates with me, maybe it would be a good fit. If something just, every program I've ever joined that I got really good results from, the person, their problems, I had similar problems. And then it like what you're saying, it resonated, and resonated, I've got results. Versus when I would go and just buy, like, how do I word this? Like when I would just go and buy workout programs, or it wouldn't work as well as if I worked with a lady that had like these same emotional struggles.
Right.
Yeah. So if I bought one from her and she talked more about like who she was as a person and the struggles that she sat with, and I did her workout, it was just better.
Yeah, I agree. And, that's kind of how, I felt about you. I felt like somehow, you related to me and the struggles. And, my doctors told me for years I was fine. And, I've been told for years my thyroid was fine. And I knew it wasn't. Like, I had so many symptoms, and, you just know.
And then too, people that say thyroid and they get on this thyroid medication, but they don't address the adrenals, like that's even more. So like, take heed if you're in a position they have you on this thyroid medicine, like, and I'm not a doctor, but look into it. And you're not your adrenals, your adrenal glands, your nervous system, like, yeah, good luck with that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That you implemented the things in our program. Obviously, you're down 80 pounds. Give us another, just kind of, if you can go back to where you were now, frustrated Kristin and all that, like your now self, okay, which is your, what would she tell the 2019 Kristin?
Oh man, she would tell 2019 Kristin to really get into her business and really go back and figure out why you feel this way about yourself. Because I put so much value on my size, my weight, my appearance. And that's, like you said, it's not just about the number on the scale. It's not just about the weight loss. And there's so much more to it. You dig a little deeper.
Yeah, there's so much more to you. And once you feel like you're good, like you drop the guilt, you drop the shame. And it's a whole new level of self-love. It's almost like feeling those feelings and beating yourself up and not whatever. It's just almost like if you loved somebody and you wouldn't just let them sit there and deteriorate. You wouldn't let them sit there and think that they're worthless. You wouldn't let them sit there and think that they're not creative and amazing or whatever. And where you go, get up, and you're going to do that. You're going to do this. And yeah, it may be scary, but you got to make a change. Like, you got this.
Yeah.
So it's like your number one job is to back yourself.
Right. Because no one's coming to save you. No one else is going to do it.
And so many women want that. They have resentment. They're waiting on our if she's come from. It's like, when is it going to be my turn? I do for everybody else. And I get the crap in, stick, deal. I can't even just say it without cussing. So my vocabulary goes out the window if I can't cuss.
Same here.
But, so women, we have to clear that resentment. And I used to feel that way. Like, I remember this workout weight bench was so heavy and I was pregnant. I had to lug it around and I was so mad. And in my mind, I think what I was waiting on was like Skip to just magically bring me a new one. I'm like, no, I need to go either tell him or buy one. And then I could like quit griping,
You're right.
Yeah. So you can't wait till the kids go to school. You can't wait till somebody just starts coming to babysit. Like, you have to go put out you just got to create what you want to become. So
right.
Husband ain't got to do it. Your kid, you got to go create it. So I love that. Okay.
Yep. And you can't wait. You've just got to do it. You can't say, oh, I'm going to do it Monday. Just go do it now.
You have the trauma response. Like, saying you're going to put it off is anxiety. But tell me this, though. Do you, like, what was some of the hangups? Like, emotionally, can you just share one or two things that, really was a seed that was keeping you stuck in those toxic cycles? Like, what was a couple things you found out that was keeping you stuck?
I didn't realize it was keeping me. I learned it was keeping me stuck when I ran across a journal prompt that you had, and I don't remember where exactly it was, but it was my 17-year-old self.
Oh my! I got a video on that. Crazy.
Oh yes, that's probably where I was listening to it, and I did, and I was just listening to it. I think I was doing something else, and I was listening, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is where I'm stuck. I'm stuck in my 17-year-old self. And I'm like, I'm not 17 years old anymore. And so I went through the whole journal prompt, and I cried and I cried and I cried. And I was like, that was it. I had chills. Yeah, it was bizarre. And after I figured it out, like, it made so much sense. Because when I was 17, my dad was in the Marine Corps, and he was a highly ranked officer. He went to Iraq. He was in the first bunch of Marines that went over after 9/11. I was living in Hawaii with my stepmom at the time, who is quite possibly one of the most toxic people I've ever met in my life. And I was living with her by myself while my dad was gone. And my mom was here in Texas. So, it was just me and her. And I was like, wow, like, and she would tell me, I was a normal sized kid in high school, and, she would tell me all the time how fat I was and how unhealthy I was. Meanwhile, I did a marathon when I was a senior in high school. So I was clearly like not just this fat kid that sat around all day. I went surfing and I did all these things.
No adult should ever speak. Just no adult should ever. That should
no.
I don't care if you feel like about them. You are brainwashed. That is not caring.
Yes.
You need to deal with the emotion you have before you even get, so carry on.
Yeah. And she still to this day, my dad thankfully isn't married to her anymore, but she still to this day can't acknowledge or deal with her own emotions. And, I remember something you said in that video was so strong to me. Like, you can't, when you're 17, you need to be raised by a woman or with a woman who has healed herself. And she is 100% like not that person who's healed. She wasn't healed when I was 17 and she's not healed now and she never will be. But that was my hang up.
And such an age, in that video, it's in the mastermind. I don't know if it's is it in Drop the Weight Struggle or not? I don't know.
I can't remember. I think it might be because I feel like I've dropped the weight. I've listened to Drop the Weight Struggle like 4 or 5 times at least.
And she's down 80 pounds. Okay.
Right. It works.
Okay. Yeah. That's powerful. Yeah. And all it is, y'all, is metacognition meets weight loss. And psychotherapy, it's everything meets weight loss. It's like the real reason why women, it's just it's from all that stuff. Okay. And even if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, I've done therapy and we did all that. Listen, that's very ignorant to say. That's like, oh, I've processed everything. Like, that's LOL, baby. Like, that's LOL.
Yeah.
Healing in evolving and growing. Like, we're not the same person we were yesterday. What makes you think that you're just done? And what? No. So anyway, where do you think you would be right now if you had not joined this program and did what you did?
I think I'd still be right back where I was in my weight. I think that I would be eating like trash. I think that I would still be chained to that desk in accounting, afraid to make a move to a different career path. I think that my tribe of women would not be what it is today, because right now I have an incredible tribe of women around me because it's what I've attracted. And, a lot of them, some of them I knew before and some I didn't. And it's just, it's such a great example for my daughter because, I'm trying to explain to her, what good friends are and like how it's important to choose the people that you keep around you. And I'm really grateful to be like, look at so-and-so and look at so-and-so and, look how great they are and like how strong they are. And I don't think that my marriage would have improved as much as it has. It wasn't bad before, but my gosh, like since we have been doing this, like we've been so much closer.
How is sex better?
Oh my gosh, yes. It seems like orgasms like last forever.
And y'all, don't even do 80 pounds. Just do it for the orgasms that last forever.
No kidding. Do it for that alone.
Look at it. That's oxytocin. That hormones, or testosterone and estrogen. And it's really it's the other ones. It's the dopamine. What is it called? Endorphins, the serotonin. Those are the hormones you want. Those are the hormones you want. And you can't get
yes.
those. You know why? Because you feel like a bad girl. So Brad. So you got to break the addiction,
Yes.
You got to break the addiction. So that you said about your daughter, because you're right. She was going to continue down the same path if you.
Right. Right.
So,
and it's really changed a lot about, how I deal with her. And she's an 8-year-old girl. She's very emotional. She feels a lot of things and she's very empathetic. And I'm to a place now I'm like, you know what? Feel those things. Are you feeling this way? Is this how you're feeling? Feel that. I think it's great. I'm like, I think it's great that you're crying because you're sad that your 1-day-old chick died. Because this spring we bought like a ton of chickens. So, I'm like, and some of them die. And I'm like, I think it's great that you're sad. I think that it's normal. Like it's feel sad and just it's okay.
Tell her that Casey cries sometimes when a good day's over.
Yeah, right.
I will cry sometimes because this my fun day's over. I don't.
And you're like, oh, I wanted this day to last forever. It's gone now.
I'm very people. Some people are that sensitive, and you can gaslight them because it takes all types.
Right.
And if you're listening to this, there's a phenomenal book, The Female Brain, and everybody that's a girl needs to listen to that book. But yeah, I mean, we're a lucky daughter. So imagine having a woman who validated your emotions.
I know that's, what I was saying, like, man, like, what if when I was a kid, like, I would have had that, like, how would things have been different? If I'd been like, oh, it's okay to cry. Cause like you've said in, a million times, like, we're told as little girls, like, don't cry, like, suck it up, like, be tough. And, here we are now, we're like, wow, I don't really know how to deal with my emotions. I don't really even know how to identify my emotions.
And here they are with an autoimmune disease, a life that they're having to sell themselves that they're happy on antidepressants, rheumatoid, and their energy's low. So let me think. Should you feel the emotion? Yeah, I should go.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna come up. Final destination. It's gonna catch you.
Absolutely.
Now, there are people out there that have been watching myself for years. And there's some people that's new, because they're seeing all these weight loss things. People are going into the holidays, getting ready to do all the stuff. And there's hesitation. Well, they don't trust. They'll say they don't trust me. Really, they don't trust themselves.
Right.
Well, there's trauma there. But there's women who really want to do this. And they have thousands of reasons of why they're too busy. They're too scared. They're scared to spend money. They don't think it's going to work. They need to wait to the perfect time, whatever the reason it be. What do you say are hesitant about booking and joining?
First of all, there will never be a perfect time for anything. So you might as well just do it now. Second of all, you're always going to worry about money. It's an investment. And for me, it's a good one. Like you really just can't. I don't think you can wait. I think if you're thinking about doing something, I think you should just jump in and do it, because there's a reason that you're thinking about it. There's a reason that you can't let it go. So you really need to honor your thoughts and your feelings, and just go for it and give it everything you got, and can your ego.
Ooh,
and just
she said it. I didn't say it.
I said it.
Okay. So that there was something that you said, money. Did you ever do money codes? Have you been through money codes?
I'm working through money codes now. Money codes so far has been one of the harder ones for me.
Money codes, we haven't come out and said it. We'll only say it to a few people. But I would sit here and lie if I told y'all that I did all this stuff via going back, soul retrievals, addressing emotions and stuff. I had to address my financial trauma.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily, and I know people's watching once again, going to write it off, like, oh, I'm good. Listen, what if you had to pay 30 grand right now to do something? You'd probably want to go in deep depression because you don't have it, or you do. You worry about and wipe out your savings. That's money trauma. There's around that. Because the abundance is you have the ability to have and do and be what you want. It's a lifestyle, it's a mindset, and it's a new world. And we realized that the nervous system, like survival mode, just not feeling safe in our bodies, the constant ups and downs of weight and all that stuff, directly related to money trauma. So many, they're scared of spending, or they went through something. One girl yesterday, something happened, life happens. And I don't know if she lost her job or her husband lost her job. She became the breadwinner, but anyway, a lot of stress was put on her. And that was very traumatic for her. Just like you get it. What creates money trauma? It's trauma in your body. It's nervous system that you don't feel safe. So if you don't go back and address all these things about money, and money is very taboo, certain religions teach that it's evil. It's all of these beliefs, and it's like being really hot. You know how a lot of people me. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. It's been really scary for me because at the end of the day, I don't think any of us, some of us, I do think I have really low self-esteem. We don't feel worthy. Like I've been there. I've healed that not enough disease, but then I stepped into, okay, I know I can have anything I want. Now I'm terrified. I was scared of being that confident. Here I am. I can have anything I want. Look hot as shit. Or look hot. That to me was scary because you know what that does to people. They want to take you down. You know what I'm saying? I used to think that if you had a lot of money, you legit would be like the movies. Like you would be a target. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Cash used to scare me. I felt like if I had money, like I need to lock my doors. Like I come from just tons of scarcity mindset, not enough, just all that stuff. And so if that's in your energy field, if that's in your coding, your DNA, even if you've had parents that maybe they come over, they're immigrants or a great grandparent in the Depression, no one in your family has healed financial trauma. And I don't mean heal it because you made $1 million. You could be a millionaire. I know millionaires, multi-millionaires live like they're poor because they got the money, kind of like a lottery thing. They got the money, but they didn't energetically align with that. So now they feel like they need to do this and that and hold on to it so it doesn't go away. Like that's the way it lives.
Right.
Till you learn, and it's worthiness too. It's feeling worthy of being taken care of and having what you want, and it's a resource for good. Just like you, are you better for the world, Kristin, as you are now, healthier and happier, or the way you were?
I'm much better now, and I'm finding that way more people are drawn to me. Like I can be a better mother. I, can be better in the community and everything.
Save a kid from something that's happening. You can, you have more energy to give your inspiration, existence alone. Actually, the energy you have to do what you did, that energy alone will change people. You don't even have to try. Just being around them. So money is the same way. So every it heals her money worthiness or her trauma, that's as equal. Like you're gonna be doing that for the world. Like you're change how you think about your body and your money and relationship. It's crazy. Did you ever go through relationship by design or not yet?
I haven't gone through that one yet.
Yeah, I know you don't need to because some people come in with some relationship stuff and some don't. But okay, your favorite courses for those that are watching, you like Drop the Weight Struggle. What are
Yes. What'd you say? I'm sorry, you broke up.
Well, a couple of other courses that you really liked or resources that really helped you a lot.
I really loved the beginning, like, when you talk about the chakras and I loved all of the energy work in doing that. And I was like, the spiritual healing and, how our trauma is related to, all of our physical ailments. And God, it makes so much sense.
It does. Now, tell me this though. Are you religious?
Yes.
Right. So looky here, we've got a religious woman, a believer. Okay. Because sometimes we get another type of religious person where they think that, and I get it. They think that it's the devil's work. So
it's not, it's all light. And it comes from God. He created us as energetic creatures, and he created the energy, and it's our responsibility to use it as he designed.
Love it. So good. So energy codes, when we say energy code, it's not like this sorcery magic and you have to pray and light candles before you do the thing. Like it's literally teaching it based on like Chinese meridian points. Okay. And there and I go over like where these energy blocks are and why we feel this way. That's what she's talking about. Like the thyroid earlier, we're talking about the thyroid when it's never my turn. And some things like even headaches is like your third eye, and or if you're feeling anxious and what to do to ground yourself and feel better and get clarity. That's when she says energy code, that's what she's referring to. Okay. Energy codes, Drop the Weight Struggle. What else?
Oh gosh, there is
17.
There's so many. And I feel like I get so much out of them. It was one that, gosh, it really triggered me. It's the one you talk a lot about clearing the grief and clearing the anxiety. Gosh, I can't remember what it's called, but it's one of my favorites. And I swear it triggered me the most. And it talked about like how your wounds, come from your mother, from your father. Let me look at my notes.
Yeah, because
I'm glad this is.
I know women that are in the program, they're going to want it. They look up to women like you, who had a lot of success. And so I wanted to say, hey, here's what Kristin did,
Yeah. Reset and restore.
Oh my gosh. Reset, restore.
Yes.
I think you can buy that solo on CaseyShip.com/shop, but it's for that course is at the core. It goes over the energetics behind adrenal, like why you run on empty pretty much.
Yes, it talks a lot about survival mode. I have a whole notebook of things. I took a page out of your book, and I carry a notebook everywhere and just write things down.
Okay, and I'm writing a book. I just started. I'm going to put everything in there. Codependency, what you're talking about, energy codes, financial. I'm doing everything in that book so somebody could read it and just kind of try to learn about a program.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love to listen. And a lot of, what I was doing, was data entry all day long. And you don't see, like, you have to think, but you don't but you can listen to other things and, pay attention. But, so I was really, I listened to a lot then, and I was able to really take good notes because I was in an office by myself and nobody cared. I got all the work done. Yeah, and then Reset and Restore talked a lot about narcissistic parents. Reset and Restore was super triggering for me because it did talk a lot about, the different types of parents and, how it's related to, your tonsils and your adrenals. And so when I was a kid, when I was in kindergarten, I had scarlet fever. And after that, I would get strep throat 3 or 4 times a year, every year, until when I was finally 16 was the first time I'd ever seen a civilian doctor. And the doctor goes, I don't understand why you still have these tonsils. And then they removed them. But it just, talking about the tonsils and the adenoids, I was like, oh my gosh, that's wild. And then my daughter ended up having, and then it also made me look at myself as a mother, because my daughter also had really huge tonsils like I had. And only when she was 3, we took them out because it was affecting her speech. And so it's just like, oh my gosh, how, has my behavior or my emotions up until now, affected her to this tiny person who's only 3 or 4 at this time.
And they they are their own person. Don't get me wrong. They're their own. Kids are here to mirror back what needs to be healed in us. I'm sorry to say.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And that makes perfect sense because I almost wonder, I'm like, well, when she was an infant, I had terrible postpartum depression and I had it for 3 years.
Good. Yeah. And my kids are the same way. And Grady knows he's my first, and both of them know. I said, listen, I'm still human, and I'm working on my stuff. I said, but I was really not a very healed mommy when I had you, and we're going to hold on. Yeah. So it is what it is, it is what, and we're going to.
And I think it's good that they see us that way, because then, oh, it's okay that I'm not perfect. It's okay, that I've made these mistakes. My mom's made, had struggles and made mistakes. And I think it's just another level that, they can relate to us on.
As long as we don't go and blame people.
Right.
And we want to make a positive change. We're willing to take when you take responsibility for everything, oh man, for yourself, and everything changes. Okay.
Right.
Let's get into the food real quick.
Yeah.
And you kind of eat paleo-ish, no, you don't do a lot of sugar now. And listen, y'all, I don't ever say, when a woman comes into our program, we do everything that's so custom to the person. And so I just don't want you to listen to what she's saying or what I'm saying. And this is why I don't even share really exactly what I eat anymore, because you'll think that you need to go eat like us. You can't do that. You have to honor your bio needs, right? So I say when you come in the program, you need to track macros, or you need to eat this way, or you need to eat that way. I'm like, do the food test and let's figure out what works for you. So when she tells you what she eats, don't think that you need to eat that way too. And she's just sharing. So go ahead, Kristin. Kyle, what'd you eat for breakfast?
Well, today for breakfast, I do honor and give myself what I want. I had a breakfast burrito this morning. And I mean, It was chile verde, so it was mostly just meat and a tortilla. But typically for breakfast, I'll eat like 5 eggs.
Okay.
And you know, it's a lot of food. And you know, I do measure my food. I make sure that my meat is all pasture raised in the United States,
You
and
eat
that it's.
red meat?
I'm sorry.
You eat red meat like beef?
Yes, beef. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
So
make sure my beef is raised in the United States, that it's grass fed, because if this kind of goes back to the food test, and this would, you know, it all goes back. You know, you are what you eat. So you've got to, if you're eating meat that, you know, the cow when it was alive was eating all this GMO corn, all this, you know, gluten and all this like byproduct, like just trash food, you know, you're eating it too. And that's part of why my husband and I decided to get our own chickens, because we learned more about, I mean, we live real rural, so we can have as many chickens as we want. But because, you know, we kind of learned about how chickens live, and you're like, you know, chickens eat a lot of garbage. Maybe the reason that I'm still so inflamed is because my chickens are eating corn all the time.
did you hear
And
like what they do to the chickens? Like they'll pack them in so close. It gets cut off in the meshes, and their beaks, they're so stressed out they don't have any beaks left. It's
it's so sad.
cows. After I drove across country, I went through Kansas City and saw those meat yards, and I grew up on a cattle farm. Like when we wanted a cow to be processed, we would, I know, cover your ears. They would do away with the cow on the farm. They would do it so the cow didn't really know it was going down. They would pray, thank you, whatever. But like if you knew how the cows in those meat yards in like Kansas City, they're in the meat yards, and it's like these emotions and these cows, like the way they're butchered and the way that they're killed, like don't tell me those hormones and those emotions aren't in the food. Like I don't know. And so what I do, like, you want to eat something like that, I'll just, you know, prayer is very powerful, and I'll just put like my attention and gratitude into that. That's the best that I can do. But you said Mediterranean. No, you said paleo. I do more Mediterranean, like the fish.
Right.
Like I wanted beef last week. I hadn't had beef but I love that you're paying attention. So those of you listening, pay attention, man. She's right on the antibiotics.
Yes. And who knows what kind of injections they're getting. It's really become important to me to know where my food comes from. And I would much rather eat a cow that's, you know, lived a happy, healthy life, you know, like grazing in a field, rather than one that's crammed into, you know, a tiny, like you were describing, you know, like a meat farm. And, you know, it's the same with my chickens. And, you know, these chickens all but get like professional massages like every day. So like, you know, we're getting like these beautiful eggs that make us all feel great. And, you know, we're getting, when we eat chicken, you know, we make sure that we buy, you know, organic pasture raised chicken as well. And because a lot of the chickens, you know, like you were saying, they pump them full of hormones, and, you know, they're way too big. Like, and when I talk to people about how I eat too, I always tell them that I try to eat my food so at the time it lived as close to the way God designed it to live as possible.
I like that. It's fruit the other day, like I got a mango from Siesta Key, and it was like, because I grew up in Georgia peaches, pear trees, plum trees, like you can't beat a fruit that's like that natural. And once you eat one from the grocery store, then you eat something that's so natural. Even the food, like the cattle from the farm or the deer from the hunt versus and they inject color into the meat at the grocery store.
It's terrible.
Whoa! So, and I'm not doing this to scare people. We're just doing this for awareness, because there's so many different ways to eat, and that's all. You know, it tells you do all these foods that you can have, and I'm like, oh my God, how much better did you feel knowing what you couldn't have to eat?
Oh, I know, it was great, and I really like the food test was really, you know, and really valuable to me, because it really, I did eliminate a lot, but I also was able to eat a lot. So, and you know, we eat like a lot of good food, but we also keep our meals real simple. It's crazy. I don't like fish. I lived 4 years in Hawaii, 6 years in Japan, and then I spent 6 years in South Louisiana. So I've had probably the best seafood that's available in the world. I just don't like it. And so, I tend to lean more towards red meat and chicken, and I'll eat deer. My husband's a hunter, and he'll usually kill us a couple deer every year. So we'll eat the deer that he kills, and we process ourselves. So
Fruit.
I don't eat much fruit, but it's only because I don't always want it.
Right.
When I want it, I do have it. And back to what you were saying about the Georgia peaches. So when I lived in Hawaii, we had a mango tree in our backyard. And there is not a better mango that exists in this world.
Sure.
I have them now, and I'm like, it's not the same.
No, well, I hear you. And then you eat a lot of carbs, right?
We do. I try to stay away from processed carbs, obviously, but I do a lot of sweet potatoes. I will do like regular white potatoes. And, and if mashed potatoes are available, I can make those clean too.
I eat milk and that vegan butter.
Heck yeah.
But I'm with you. I eat a lot of fruit, a lot of carbs.
Yeah.
And rice. I like the way white rice makes you feel better than brown rice. So.
Does it? If I do rice, I do like the wild, like super colorful, grainy rice.
Yeah, that's good.
Because, I like it just a little, it's like it's a little bit meatier.
Yeah.
Like, for lack of a better term.
Kids just walked in.
Oh, it's okay.
That's great. All right, so you eat a lot of carbs and cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how much cardio you were doing before?
Yes, I was doing it. I was working out 6 days a week, and I swear I was only doing cardio. I was doing spin classes, and I would spin 20 miles in a 45-minute class. Like, it was wild.
This past year, and you've lost 80 pounds, how much cardio did you do every day?
I do more lifting now than I do cardio.
Hold on.
But
so you went from daily cardio
to... Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
You said it. There's no lines here. No lines being told. You got your you did the emotional, mental, body, which is just nervous system. You learn how to regulate your nervous system. Switched up how you train. How long do you go to the gym? Like when you're at the gym, how many days a week? How long are you in there?
I go to the gym 3 days a week. Like I said, I live real rural, and there's just a badass group of women. There's no other way to describe them. That, we meet up and we work out together, and the warm-up is probably 10 minutes. The actual workout is maybe 15, 20 minutes. And like, it's programmed, and it's a lot of lifting, and it's different every day. Every now and then we run like 100 meters, but like that's 100 meters. It's not 20 miles on the bike.
I like the sprint because I may need to outrun a goose or something.
I know. One day I may need to outrun something, so I need to keep remembering how to run a little bit. And if I do any like just cardio, like during the weekend, like my husband and my daughter and I will go walk, and like the walking is the only like strictly cardio that I do. But at our gym, we'll have max out days, and we'll just lift and figure out what the heaviest is that we can lift. So it's really been a lot of fun, and I think that right now, I guess I've been in with my gym for about almost a year. I am stronger now than I've ever been. But there's also you also kind of get into this cardio. You do get into those cardio levels, when you're lifting.
Oh,
so
golly,
it's rough.
My heart rate. I remember when I would do deadlifts, it'd be like 175.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Well,
I love the lifting.
Well, cool. So you went from everyday cardio to 9 days a week. You have more time with your family, sex, and count your orgasms, not your calories.
Amen. You should definitely be having orgasms than calories you're burning.
Yeah, oxytocin, honey. Through the shame and the guilt, and man, hop into Reset Restore. Get in. Anything else that you wish Like if you were watching this, listening, you wanted to have what you have now, you were listening to this, is there anything else that you think you'd want to know back then that we didn't cover?
Oh, I think that we've covered it, like I like try to keep things as simple as possible. Like your meals like don't need to be these big extravagant things, like keep it simple. If you're doing macros, it's easier to count that way anyway.
That's not one that
And
if you want to make it these big extravagant meals, make it taste good, you're still emotionally eating.
exactly. And the way I look at food now is like it's fuel.
That's it.
And do I enjoy meals? Absolutely. Did I enjoy my breakfast burrito this morning? You bet I did. But you know what? Like it's fuel. Like I eat it and I move on, and I go out. I do go on lunches, for work and stuff. And if you keep those simple too, you're still able to stay on track. Eat meat and vegetables.
And it's you're not looking for a dopamine hit. But you don't need to create situations that put you back in something that's going to make you feel ashamed.
Like right. And yeah, and like you said you said it perfectly with the dopamine. Like when I eat, I'm not looking for a dopamine hit. I'm looking for calories to sustain.
Shit. I start getting anxious, okay, and I'm like, what is going on? I need to eat. I'll get anxious. Fearful thoughts. I'm like, bitch, you are hungry.
Like, don't be hungry.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I just really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you wanted to have me, and like I'm happy to share anything that I know, that could help somebody. I do like want everyone to be successful. I want everyone to feel good because, we do deserve it.
The world needs more happy mamas.
I agree. And, we don't need to spend our time, just running around with like chickens with our heads cut off, like, doing all the things don't do it. And, I've really come to realize how important rest is.
Right. I mean, I've come off Adderall and I'm so much like healthier, and it's because I can feel like even dental work yesterday, my tooth hurt. I mean, I had an implant and she had to put a new veneer on, and it was like, and I cried, and it was okay because I've cried left the dentist office and cried before, but the old me would have been like, just kept going,
Yeah, just suck it up.
Yeah, just cover the pain, keep going. But when I allow myself to fully feel, just like no Adderall, and just allowing myself to feel the things, and then giving myself natural ways to get that dopamine boost or take care of myself,
right?
And being able to relax and regulate my nervous system. Because we're not with emotions.
Yeah, and that's what I tell my husband too, because he's really enjoying running, like he loves it, and I'm like, just be careful with it because like you'll burn yourself out. Like if you love it, like Godspeed. I hate running. Like,
it's hard on the joints.
Nothing about it feels good.
No, I've got into Pilates because I'm looking at it. You know how it feels. I know you know how it feels. Like if you just do something, it doesn't feel good to your body.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, no, don't like it. It doesn't feel good. Like I don't, even when I'm done, like I don't feel good about myself after. I'm like, yeah, I don't like anything about this.
I can't even like heavy barbells right now. They're not vibing with me. And
okay.
Photo shoot yesterday, body looking good. You know what I'm saying? And dancing, I love pole dancing, but I will still live. It's nothing
right.
Like, the season right now, like what you're saying, it didn't make you feel good. So you got to honor your body, Nick. Don't force it. Stop doing that. It feels good, and don't make it look. You ain't got to look perfect and pretty. Just move. Just get it done.
Exactly. Like in it, and if you honestly, like if you do the workouts and that feel good, because like I said, lifting like feels really good to me. Like you get into it, and I mean, don't get me wrong, like it hurts, but it hurts good.
Yeah, no, I
and
it's just the powerlifting days. I'm not into that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, though, there's seasons for everything.
Yeah,
and I don't think you can go wrong with Pilates. Pilates are great. I love Pilates.
Pilates is good. But yeah, the working out, they said too, when you're lifting, that science proves this. Like just by doing like a bicep curl, your squats that you do, anything like that, it secretes feel good like hormones. It literally is like it's
yeah,
crazy.
I buy it like 100%. Like I totally believe it. Like everything. Like I like going to the gym. My 3-day-a-week gym is like my favorite. Like it's my favorite time of the day, favorite time of the week. Like I love it. Like I love my girls there. And like we have a blast.
Don't change it. I don't care if you're at 89. You keep your little group of chickens and y'all keep going.
Heck yeah. We're just gonna keep on going.
Keep going. And then Kristin is in the free Facebook group. So if you have questions, just hit her up. What is your name in there?
It's just Kristin Davis.
Okay. And spell it.
Kristin, and then Davis.
Cool. Yeah, because if they listen to it on audio, they may want to go search it. But yeah, she's in there. We just posted her picture too, before and after. It's in there in the free group. So cool. Thank you so much. If you want anything, the resources that she used, go to caseyshipp.com/podcast offer. You'll see a lot of free trainings on there. But if you want to actually do the program, you need to apply. caseyshipp.com/apply. Fill out the application. You'll book a 15-minute consult with one of our crew members and move to the next round. All right, Kristin, thank you so much, and kick ass. Have a great weekend.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.